Hi, I'm joined by Barnaby Shingleton, who's Director of Entertainment and Factual at Sky Vision, and as you may better tell, we've been at the run-through for Don't Ask Me. I think the place we have to start, Barney, is tell us about this show. First of all, tell us how the run-through went.
So, yeah, I have to say the run-through went really well. It was produced by Chalkboard, who are actually doing the show. It's launching in the UK in 2 weeks' time today, so it kind of acted as a bit of a rehearsal for them. And it was, it was fascinating to see how people engaged with the interactivity, and it's hard to see that when you're doing it as a TV show because you're not in people's homes. But this is a show where the interactivity is actually integral to the format. So hearing tough TV execs really engage with the format, talking amongst themselves while the show is being effectively, playing was fantastic. So it's a primetime interactive entertainment format, comedy entertainment format, in which really the challenge is, can you guess what the nation thinks? And the way we find out what the nation thinks is by asking them questions via the Don't Ask Me app. And it's a very slick app developed by Ex Machina and obviously the producers Chalkboard TV. And it works incredibly well. So literally it's being run live as the show's going out. You can change questions, you can throw questions immediately out to the app. And then the audiences are effectively just answering provocative questions.
So this is really a format that has interactivity in its DNA as opposed to kind of the interactivity built on at the end.
No, it's absolutely integral to the show. So the show is about trying to second guess the opinions of the nation. And how do we know about the opinions of the nation? We ask them via the app. So you can't play the game without the interactivity. It's absolutely integral. And the fascinating thing that we saw in the run-through, which I hadn't really appreciated, was that people really engage. At certain points during that run-through, the audience were so engaged with the questions, we could barely hear the host. So imagine that happening across the nation. So that's what I think is really exciting about. That's real interactivity, real engagement with the content.
And presumably what you have with this is an audience that's engaged, which is great for broadcasters, right? It's great for live TV.
Exactly. I mean, that's the point. And the other exciting thing about the show is that you can be incredibly current. Because of the way the Ex Machina have set up that app, you can ask questions immediately. You can change the questions as they're being, as you're producing the show, and because it's going out live. So say something happens in the studio, something's particularly funny, the producers who are sitting there in the gallery can literally ask a question and change the order of the show immediately. That's a really exciting, compelling thing to be able to do.
And tonally, this is fun. This isn't a straight-laced, very serious quiz, right?
Not at all. It's pure, I mean, this is real entertainment. And actually, I think for linear broadcasters, I definitely get a sense that entertainment is starting to swing back. We've seen a little bit of a quiet patch, if you like, with new entertainment shows. This is pure entertainment. It's funny, it's light. But what's crucial, I think, for terrestrial broadcasters and free-to-air broadcasters in particular, who I think are our sort of main target for this, is that it's live. You have to be there. You have to be watching it as it's going out on that on the screen. It's effectively an event, and there's no other broadcasters that can do that. You need to have a terrestrial broadcaster to do that. So that really sets it apart.
And how does it work in terms of sales? We're here at MIP, so it's about buying and selling content. Presumably when you buy this show, you're not just buying the format, you need the technology piece, you need that expertise as well.
You're buying the whole thing, so we're packaging it all up together. Obviously you're buying the format, you're buying Bible, you're buying the expertise in how to make the programme. You're probably buying a whole load of questions which have been tested and tried in the UK, but you may adjust them according to your own market. We're working with Ex Machina, who do the app, who've created this app. They're incredibly reliable, they're well known internationally, and Ionoko, who are doing the software for the studio, and they all fit together. So we're offering the whole package.
So Barney, some markets are naturally bigger than others. This is on ITV in a prime time slot, so clearly it will be big. Is it something that can be scaled down or changed to fit a broadcaster's needs if perhaps they don't have huge budgets?
Absolutely. I mean, it is quite scalable. It's also highly repeatable. So once it's set up, it's pretty easy to do as many episodes as you want. I mean, we're in discussions already about some people are interested in stripping it. It's perfectly possible to do that, because really the limits are the imagination of the producers and the questions that you ask. And actually it's pretty efficient to produce. It's not beyond, certainly not beyond the vast majority of what I would call terrestrial broadcasters.
So it's been great to hear about Don't Ask Me. Let's think about what else you guys have for the market. What else were you really focusing on this time?
Well, certainly in entertainment and factual entertainment, we were pushing Muslims Like Us, which is a really interesting, provocative, and revealing look at the lives of the Muslim population of a lot of Western European countries. And it comes from Love Productions, and Love Productions are known for producing, I think, sensitive but hard-hitting factual entertainment shows that come from a position of truth and authenticity. And that's a format which has got a lot of attention because it allows us to look at the huge variation of Muslim belief, which probably isn't appreciated by a lot of people who are not Muslims. And I think if you did a documentary about the difference between various forms of Islam, you probably wouldn't get many people watching it. But if you do a factual entertainment show about that, and if you make it if you make it more interesting for viewers, you'll get a lot more engagement in that content, and you'll learn a lot. And what's interesting about it is that we don't have to just talk about Muslims. We can talk about Christians. We can talk about atheists. Wherever there's a big variety, a range of views, that format will work. So we're really happy, I think, really having a very positive response from that, particularly I think from public service broadcasters. They've responded really well to that show.
That's fantastic, Barney. It's great to hear about this show and other stuff you're up to, so thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.